get us facts based on all of the horrific experiments they've done to, let's just say, North America. Would that be good enough, Clint? Just North Americans?
Oh, it really only matters with North Americans. Honestly,
in the name of Title 50, why do you say that?
Because we're trying to establish only the fact that a government would harm its own population.
Oh, okay.
That's all we're trying to establish. We don't. I mean, I can't imagine people don't understand that with the Crown, and I think people understand that with such beauties as Saddam Hussein. So really, we just we need to get rid of this idea that America is America. Actually, America. Well, I won't go there, but I will say if you look up the word America and its history, it actually means serpent, devil,
cool.
Whatever. So,
hey, Clint, I really have to interrupt you at this point and go back. We need a full disclosure and disclaimer. Now, I need to know up front, I want you to say on air whether or not you hold any vaccine patents. Because I don't.
No, I hold no patents.
Okay, so, and this goes to you saying, what do we want to do, like interviewing a famous talking head? Because I had tasked my email list some time ago that somebody had given me this little, the question that the serpent asked Eve. Now, does Andrew Wakefield actually have a vaccine patent? And so I tasked my list with, getting to the heart of it. And what they did is they did indeed find that there is an Andrew Wakefield that has a vaccine patent, but we never were able to tie it to the Andrew Wakefield of current fame, who did with Bradstreet, the guy that was murdered. Bradstreet and Wakefield sat side by side in congressional testimony in at least, I think it was 2002, the Burton report on autism. So famous, autism moms just loved the Burton report. Of course, they never read it cover to cover like I did. And Andy Wakefield gave testimony there, and Andy Wakefield got defrocked, and Andy Wakefield is very famous, but does Andrew Wakefield, the vaxxed, showcased doctor, does he in fact have a patent to a vaccine? Because isn't that conflict of interest to say, well, vaccines, because I saw him and the producer of Vax, or the director, I should say, the director of Vax, were on an interview, and they said categorically, we are not against vaccines. We just want them to be safe and the schedule to be reduced. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, you got to be kidding me. Because you and I have been all along. I started my crusade in 2008 saying vaccines are biological warfare agents. How do you make a fucking weapon safe?
Well, my gun has a safety on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. See, bad me. You fact-checked me. Okay. Well, we'll have to scratch that off the document.
That was a stupid question.
Yeah. I'm a dumbass, man.
Yeah, it seems to me that this would be one of those things where I would be willing to bet, and I never thought about this, but I'll bet you that vaccines actually say keep away from children. just like toothpaste.
Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. I can't stand it.
I didn't think, right? Do not allow children to play with the vaccines, right? It is a question, we want to make them safe. And again, that is what someone who has a vested interest in the industry itself, or who, as you say, if you have a patent in the industry, then of course you're not going to talk shit about the very thing that's going to, the hand that feeds you, right? So this is what I'm saying. There is no one out there that doesn't have some self-interest. And that's the beautiful thing for me anyway. And I know people don't understand this. I think they support me just because I'm one of the few people that are like this. It's like, money be damned. You know, you can't pay me ever. All the money in the world would not stop me from doing this. There's no price that you can put on me. There's nothing you can do to stop me, because wealth disgusts me. You know, the whole concept of wealth when so many people are suffering disgusts me. I don't want your money. You're not going to pay me off with anything. Right? So, but most of these people are somehow vested. They have a paycheck coming in. They have patent rights. They have whatever it is, royalties from fucking killing people. I mean, it's disgusting. Of course, I'm not against vaccines. I just want them to be safe. What the hell does that mean? You're right. It's one of those. It's one of those things where, you know, I just want, you know, I'm going to build my house at the base of a fucking volcano. And really, all I want is for government to make the volcano safe. I'm going to build my house right on top of the caldera and freaking Yellowstone or whatever it is, and I'm going to trust government to make it safe. There is no safe.
We need to do like a graphic novel or a cartoon. It's like, you see, in my early years, I had to come up with concepts. And one of them is the false binary choice. Would you rather be stabbed in the chest or shot in the back? And the end result is the same. It doesn't matter. You're fucking going to die. But it's your choice. It's up to you. And that's why it's a false binary choice. And so the quote-unquote vaccine debate is, okay, you know, government, I would prefer the rusty knife with the tetanus on it, but could you please, if you would you please avoid my aorta when you stab me?
That's it.
And see, this is called reductio ad absurdum, to reduce an argument to its most absurd form. And once you do that, and that's, you know, what I call calling it what it is. Once you call it what it is, there is no debate. It's a goddamn weapon, and you're petitioning the government. Oh, powerful government, you know, who demands that you experiment on us like lab rats? Would you please not hurt us as much?
Well, so is Hillary Clinton the rusty knife, or is that Donald Trump? Yeah, craziness. One of the things that I think would be a good way to actually sort of something else. Again, Patrick, I have never heard anybody talk about this but you. I don't think I would have figured this out if it weren't for your books, and you're talking about it, which is those three, the three specifically, least harmful side effects that they list, you know, in every vaccine, which is, you know, annoyance or redness at the site of injection,
right?
Stiffness of the body,
right.
Stiffness of the bones, and what's the other one?
I'm gonna have to pull up my own book to find out.
Well, yeah.
I
So
store that. Yeah.
So you're talking about the three reactions that almost everyone is going to get. You know, redness or irritation at the site. At the injection site.
And fever.
Oh,
yeah.
fever, of course. Because how does your body fight infection? Fever, right. So, you know, these so-called, you know, these very low-grade symptoms that everybody seems to report are actually the most devastating things that are happening. There's signs that your body is under full frontal fucking attack by a biological weapon. You've just literally bypassed all of the things that'll protect you, and you've injected it right into your body. Of course, you're fucking gonna have these reactions. Of course.
That's warning. You see, I grew up with this ITV. It's like BBC, so it's a British series called The Prisoner. Patrick McGoohan. Mm-hmm. I grew up with that, but then I got them as an adult, and I actually studied them, Clint. I studied all the episodes of The Prisoner, and one of my favorites is he walks into a bar and he orders a drink, and he drinks the drink, but this person that was stalking him had at the bottom of the drink, at the bottom of the glass, after he had drunk the entire contents, he could read the words that says, "You've just been poisoned." It's fucking classic, man.
Well, unfortunately, in my generation, I grew up with the Pee Wee Herman show.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So that was my first introduction into words. The magic
Bring
word
it on home, man.
The magic word of the day is fun, right? Yeah. That's the level of the mentality that we're dealing with even in my generation. So unfortunately, but I think that's important to really say, look, these are not just typical or reactions that you shouldn't be worrying about. These are literally the entire body responding to an attack. Like your mm-hmm. body's going into shock. Yeah. Literally from something that should not be there. And that is something that I never considered. And I congratulate you on actually having the fortitude to figure that out, because that's something that I've never heard that. These things are not talked about.
Well, Clint, it's from hard work, and thank you for that.